Hello my lovelies, so this is the last video of this week and I want to go through downward facing dog with you. So if you listen to me ramble on in the intro, I mentioned that downward dog was always my most uncomfortable posture to do. So I thought what a great idea is to kind of start you off the way I should have went on and learn downward dog the correct way. So coming onto your knees, I've took my feet and my shoe and socks off, so that I've got nice grip onto the mat. And we'll just warm up the spine a little bit here. So hands underneath your shoulders, knees hip distance apart. And we're going to inhale, we're going to stick our bottom up, and then we're going to exhale, we're going to arch the back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, arch. Inhale, lift. Exhale, arch. And as you lift, you're kind of sticking your bottom up, lifting the chest, looking up towards the ceiling, kind of stretching out the throat and the neck. And then as you exhale, you're dropping the chin all the way down to the chest and you're kind of curving your spine, tucking the tailbone in. Inhale, lift. Find your breath. Exhale out. Well done. Inhale, lift. And then exhale out. Inhale, lift, and then exhale out. Well done. And then you might just want to wiggle your bottom a little bit side to side. Check out how you're feeling, how the back's feeling here. And then we're going to come into downward dog. So from all fours, this is really important. I want you to keep your hands exactly where they are. You're not going to move your hands. What you are going to do is you're going to tuck your feet all under and very slowly you're going to lift your bum up towards the ceiling. Now initially just come back down. We'll do that a few times, just lifting up, coming back down. And as you lift, you'll notice that the back of the legs, if your hamstrings are tight, the backs of the legs are going to feel stiff and you're going to get a big stretch here. So just lifting the bum up, exhaling back down. Now what we normally do in our yoga classes, we do a thing called walking the dog. So I want you to lift your bum up as high as you can. You can keep your knees bent a little, and all I want you to do is slowly, you're going to push one heel down and then the other, stretching out through the backs of the legs. And then over time, you'll find that this gets a little bit easier. If you're practicing first thing in the morning, then you'll find that the backs of the legs are really tight. So you might not get your heels anywhere near the floor. That doesn't matter, you can do this on your tiptoes and then over time your heels will push further down towards the floor. Okay, let's just come back down onto your knees. Maybe you want to sit back a little bit onto your heels and just stretch out here. Drop your head down, stretch out to the shoulders. Well done. So the leg bit is really important, getting the bum as high as you can. So the next part, from all fours, going to tuck your toes under. You can just watch for a second and then join in with me. You can tuck your toes under, going to lift your bum up, and then I want you to drop your chin down to the chest. You're going to drop the chin right down, and as I drop the chin down, I'm trying to pull my head through my arms, and I'm kind of looking, I'll sit just so you can hear us, I'm kind of looking towards either my belly button or I'm looking towards my knees, looking beyond my knees to the back of the room. So let's give this a go. Come onto all fours, spread your fingers, knees hip distance apart. Tuck your toes under, lift your bum up as high as you can, and then drop the chin to the chest and try and push your head through the gap between your arms. And you're looking towards the knees, or if you can, to your belly button. And you can take your dog for a walk here. You can bend your knees a little bit initially, see how that feels, but you want your bum nice and high. Take a couple of deep breaths, and when then you feel as though you've had enough, you're going to exhale all the way down. Now that has put a lot of pressure on your body. You've stretched out your body quite deeply here, so you might find this really uncomfortable to start off with. Regular practice, it'll get so much easier. Once you're in the pose, bring awareness to your breath is super important, so take big inhales in and out. We don't usually stay in downward dog too long, probably on average about 5 breaths. So just gradually build it up. Maybe see if you can stay for 2 to 3 breaths and then eventually see if you can stay there until 5 breaths. Once you've done your downward dog, see if you can sink down. And this pose is called child's pose. You're going to take your knees really wide apart, ideally as wide as the mat if you can. And very slowly see if you can sink your bum down towards the heels, stretch your arms out to the floor, then rest the forehead if you can onto the mat. And what this helps do is to settle the nervous system down and just relax the whole of your body. The other thing, so just take a few breaths there in downward dog, and you can just listen to me while I talk. The other thing about downward dog that is really important is that you don't allow your shoulders to hunch up towards your ears. So imagine I'm on downward dog now. If I'm like this, all I'm doing is creating tightness and tension in the back of my neck and down my shoulders. So in downward facing dog, you want to try, once you've got your arms nice and straight, you want to think about your shoulders and your shoulder blades peeling open and pushing down towards your lower spine, towards your bottom. So the shoulders peel away from the ears and they peel down and around towards your spine. And you might hear the teacher say to breathe into the space between your shoulder blades and the spine, because often we walk around or sat at a desk and quite tight and we're shrugging our shoulders. We don't often relax and sit up nice and straight. So when we're in downward dog, it's really important to separate that space and find that space between the spine and the shoulder blades and breathe into that area. It won't happen straight away. It'll take some practice. It'll feel really strange initially, but just keep practicing. If you've got any questions, ask me or ask your yoga teacher, and don't be afraid to just experiment and see what it's like. Another tip, I'm full of tips today, another tip that I do have is record your practice a little bit. So not necessarily, you don't have to post it anywhere, but maybe take a little video or photo of yourself where you are right now, and then in 6 weeks or maybe even 6 months, you'll be able to look back and see your progress. I wish I had done this 20 years ago when I first started. Back then I don't even think we had cameras on our phones, but I wish I had some of pictures earlier on in my practice just to see how much I've progressed over the time that I've been practicing. So thank you very much for joining me. Keep practicing, hope you're enjoying the class, and hopefully I get to see you all in person very soon. Namaste.